everyone, my name is Rachelle and welcome back to Rachelle Goes Global. Today I actually wanted to go over my travel bucket list with you. So I have only been full-time traveling for maybe like a year and a half or so, and I don't really consider myself actually full-time traveling considering I don't really live abroad, do a nomadic lifestyle. I'm kind of more of like a half-time traveler. Basically, I travel to and from a home base, so I do go home frequently in between trips and I always come back. So it makes my style of travel a little bit different, but it's the perfect time for me. I wouldn't have it any other way. And my life has changed dramatically since I started traveling in January of 2022. And I definitely have some things that I really want to tick off my list. It can be hard to see like different full-time travelers, digital nomads, things like that on TikTok and Instagram having lived this life for multiple years, most of their lives. So they've done so many of the things that I like want to do. And I have to remind myself, I just got into this like maybe like a year and a half ago. I'm still very new to it. And everybody's journey is different. So I just think it's really interesting to talk about what, you know, some people might want to do on their bucket list, some might not. And I think more than anything, these are just destinations that are on the top of my list to go to. Obviously, I would love to see the whole entire world, but these are the ones that take priority. The very first one on my bucket list is probably the one that I will get to next, and that is the Philippines with my mom. My mom actually immigrated from the Philippines to the United States when she was about 18 with the whole rest of her family. They landed in California, and the rest of the family kind of settled there, and they're still over there even though we had left. My grandparents on her side were actually dual citizens for a long time. I think that just recently ended, but my grandma had just gone back to the Philippines just now, and she has been asking me to go my whole entire life. I kept making jokes that it was like her last wish to see me in the Philippines, and like, while that sounds a little morbid, it's kind of true. All of my other cousins have gone, my aunts and uncles always go, they're always asking me to go, and I never had the opportunity to until like now. I'm now in a place in my life where I'm not in school, I work nomadically, so I really have the flexibility to take time off. My life looks exactly how I want it, and I have the time to dedicate to travel like that. It also always freaked me out to go over to that side of the world, cross the international date line, the time zone difference. I just need to get over it and go. So plans for when I go, I want to see my mom's hometown, I want to go to all the beaches, want to go to all the touristy destinations. I'm sure my grandmother will have like a whole list of things to do. I would probably stay there for months if I could. We're probably planning to go in like March or April to celebrate my grandmother's birthday, and maybe I might be able to get to Japan and South Korea while I'm there. You never know. The next one on my bucket list is again an entire country, and that is Italy. I don't know why I felt such a strong pull to Italy my entire life. I've always wanted to go and just explore the entire country in its entirety. Since I could fathom travel and like going to exotic international destinations, Italy's always been on the top of my list. I just think every single city I'd want to hit and visit for at least a few days. Literally everything. I just want to take a whole road trip to the country and be safe for like 2 or 3 months. There's also an EF Ultimate Break group trip that I've looked at for a while where it's like ultimate road trip through Italy. It's like 35 days and it goes to all of the major cities I want to go, but I'm not sure if I want to be like so tied to the group itinerary. I'm not sure yet, but I just know I would love to do like a summer in Italy, a fall in Italy, something of that sort. The next thing on my bucket list I did bring up earlier in this video when I mentioned the Philippines, and that is to backpack all of Southeast Asia. The most popular like backpacking routes I've seen with full-time like nomads and travelers is Central America and then Southeast Asia. These are typically the most affordable, the easiest to do long-term, very traveler friendly, like very touristy. I went to Central America for the first time in April and I did love it. I just feel like a stronger pull to Southeast Asia at the moment. I will honestly do both in my lifetime, probably multiple times, but I do want to head over to Southeast Asia just because also it's close to the Philippines, it's easily accessible. I've also been more open to longer backpacking since I quit my 9 to 5 and now I work like full-time freelance and 24/7, that's what I say. But I just have the time to be able to dedicate to like actually backpacking while still making money on the road and being able to like schedule the flights effectively. Because again, the flight is like 2 days and you skip over a time zone, like it's freaking wild. I simply just want to be able to see the world. I know I missed my cousin's wedding in Vietnam the other year because I was still in college and didn't have the funds to do it. Would love to go there. Would love to hit Cambodia and Laos, again, South Korea, Japan, Bali, Thailand. The possibilities are endless. I don't think I would hit it all in one go. Obviously, like I'm not in a place where I need to do that necessarily. Like I haven't like saved up all of this and I'm going to travel for these specific months. I can very easily break it up into like shorter stints. So that's why I mentioned like Philippines, Japan, South Korea. I do want to see the world, but I don't have to do it all right this second. The next one is one I don't hear talked a lot about, and that is just a road trip through the entire United States. I actually haven't been to many states. I'm from the West Coast. I grew up in California, then I went to college in Pennsylvania. I now reside in Florida with my family. The only time I really went to multiple states was when we lived in Virginia and now in Florida because like things are closer on the East Coast. But growing up in California, there's not much that's accessible by road trip. Literally a road trip for 8 to 10 hours is still in the same state. And we would go to LA and San Diego all the time, but like that is not sufficient. And I've driven through a lot of states. Like I would go up and down the East Coast a lot from Pennsylvania to Florida because I would just drive my car home for college breaks. But that also isn't like enough. I didn't stay anywhere. I just drove through like North and South Carolina and whatever. I've also never seen any of like the national parks, any of the scenic destinations all up in like the north, like Montana, Idaho, all of like Utah and Colorado. I just haven't done any of that. And now that I'm an adult, I have friends moving to other states. I have more of an opportunity to go visit them, which I have and I'm so grateful for. But ultimately, there's something so appealing to me about like renting a camper van or something and just driving along the US for like an entire summer. I don't know why, I just think that would be so much fun. Because the US is just huge, and I know like I grew up in a big state, but even going to different states and different cities, I'm like, there's still so much to see. Every time I come back to Pennsylvania, I still explore a new little town. Every time I'm in Florida, I find a new thing. Like there's just so much to do, and I want to see it all. The final thing on my bucket list might be controversial, and that's only because it's really not like a sustainable, eco-friendly way of traveling, and I've like gone back and forth about it, but it is one of those world cruises. I find these and I see them all the time when I'm on like a deep dive of trying to find out like where to travel, what to do, like how to bucket list travel in one go, and it's literally like almost a full year of cruising around the world. They're definitely tailored to people who are retired or rich and have nothing to do, and that's definitely not me yet. I think the cheapest that I've seen starts at like $50,000 for the year, which is somebody's annual salary. It used to be mine. But I go back and forth about it because like while I do dream about it and it sounds like a bucket list item in my head, to me I don't think it's realistic because I would be so homesick. I don't think I would last like 2-3 weeks on a boat, let alone like 9 months. I know that you dock and you go places, but like just the amount of things that you're doing, you're genuinely seeing the world in less than a year, and I think that's absolutely like mind-boggling to me. There's only a couple itineraries as well that I've seen that I would actually like consider doing, but again, it's just so much in so little time. It's crazy, it's out there, it sounds so fun, but it's also just like wild. I would love to talk to somebody who's done one of these and see like just how they came out of it, because I akin going on a world cruise to like going to space. Like they are the same in my mind. I just again think I would miss home too much. I think I could genuinely see the world in like more sustainable, eco-friendly ways, less time. Again, there's no rush. I don't think that I need to see like literally every single bucket list thing in the world tomorrow. It sounds cool and I love the idea of it. So those are just some of my bucket list destinations at the moment. They have changed dramatically since I started thinking about travel like back in high school when I was just fantasizing about it and like not going to college. Still should have done that, but it's fine. There are just so many possibilities, so many things I want to see. I want to see the world, all it has to offer. Again, we're not in a rush. We have time. We're making little steps towards it. Every day is a new adventure, and I love that about my life. But as I said, there's some things that are at the top of my list in terms of going to see. Philippines, I'll see you next spring. Italy, maybe I'll see you next fall, who knows. It would also just be a dream to be able to take my family on some of these trips because they don't get to travel like I do, and that would just make me so happy to do. I would love to know some of your travel bucket list destinations, some of the things that you've been dying to do since you were young or just now. What are your biggest dreams? Let me know in the comments. Also be sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Rachel Goes Global just to keep up with my daily travel adventures and content. And also let me know what you'd like to see from me. I love feedback and giving you what you want. That is all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week for a new one. Bye!